Imagine being inside one of the most iconic football stadiums in Germany, Allianz Arena, home to Bayern Munich. A place that usually shakes from the roars of 70,000 football fans suddenly shook for a completely different reason. And that reason was, honestly, kind of silly. But it's exactly that silliness that made this moment explode all over the internet. Yes, guys, we're talking about BTS, specifically Jimin, and one simple walk that had armies screaming worldwide, netizens reposting non-stop, and even international sports outlets picking up the story. Not a football story, but a boy band story that somehow stole the identity of a football superstar. If you're curious what actually happened over 2 nights of BTS concerts in Munich, why this moment went so viral, and what it has to do with a giant striker from Norway named Erling Haaland, stick around until the end, because this story is funnier and sweeter than you might think. Before we dive in, welcome to the channel for those of you stopping by for the first time. Here, we cover the hottest entertainment news, especially K-pop, in a relaxed but thorough way. If you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Now, let's get straight into this moment that broke the internet. To make sure everyone's on the same page, let's rewind a little first. After a long-awaited wait, all 7 BTS members, RM, Jin, Suga, Jhope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook, finally reunited in full after each completed the mandatory military service required of every young man in South Korea. This reunion was announced in mid-2025 and instantly sent ARMY around the world into a frenzy after years of anticipation. From that reunion came a world tour called the Ararang World Tour, a name taken from one of Korea's most iconic traditional folk songs. This choice wasn't random. BTS wanted to bring a strong sense of Korean culture onto the global stage while marking a new chapter following the years they spent apart because of military service. What makes this tour even more special is that Ararang is being hailed as the biggest K-pop tour in history, with a total of 79 shows spread across 34 cities around the world. That's not a small number, guys. It's an achievement no K-pop group has ever pulled off before, and it also marks BTS' first full stadium tour since all 7 members came back together. The tour officially kicked off in June 2026 in Busan, a city that holds deep emotional meaning in their career journey. From Busan, the tour moved through various countries, and one of the most anticipated stops on the European leg was 2 nights of concerts at Allianz Arena in Munich, Germany, held on July 11th and 12th, 2026. Why does Munich matter so much? Because this isn't just any stadium. Allianz Arena is home to Bayern Munich, one of the most respected football clubs in the world. And as you're about to see, the stadium's identity itself became the punchline of the most iconic joke of the entire Ararang tour. Before the Munich shows, BTS also dropped a teaser for a track called Normal, the 9th song from the Ararang album, through a promotional campaign titled Lamron, which is just normal spelled backward. The promotional material leaned into a retro, old film visual style while exploring themes of identity and performance. That theme of identity, funnily enough, became strangely relevant to what happened on stage in Munich just days later. Now that we've got the bigger picture, let's get into the heart of the story. How exactly did Jimin end up trending worldwide over something as simple as the way he walked? It all started, not on the main stage, but during soundcheck, the usually quiet rehearsal session before the concert officially begins. It was July 11th, 2026, the first night BTS performed at Allianz Arena. As usual, a lucky group of ARMY had already made it inside the stadium to watch soundcheck. One of them was holding up a fan-made sign, and its message was pretty hilarious. The sign featured a kind of joking ranking of gods. It compared 3 larger-than-life figures: Erling Haaland, labeled as the god of football, Thor, the fictional god of thunder played by Chris Hemsworth, and Jimin, who according to the sign's creator, was placed somewhere even above both of them. Jhope was the first member to spot this funny sign in the crowd. Instead of enjoying it alone, he immediately called Jimin over to take a look. The moment Jimin got close enough to read it, both of them burst out laughing. It felt spontaneous and warm. 2 close friends sharing a laugh over a silly joke made by their own fans in the middle of preparing for a massive concert. Jimin even paused to snap a photo of the sign before soundcheck continued. A small gesture that surely made the fan who created it incredibly happy. If the story had ended there, it might have just been one of thousands of sweet fan-idol interactions that quietly pass through timelines every day. But this soundcheck moment turned out to be just the opening act of something much bigger. Later that night, during the main concert in front of more than 70,000 people packed into Allianz Arena, something completely unscripted happened. In the middle of the set list, Jimin suddenly broke into a very specific walk. Not a dance move, not rehearsed choreography, just a walk. Head held high, shoulders pulled back, a pace that felt both relaxed and deliberate at the same time. The kind of stride belonging to someone who knows the whole stadium is watching and has decided exactly how he wants to carry himself. For anyone who didn't immediately catch it, this wasn't a random walk. It was the signature strut of Erling Haaland, the Norwegian striker famous for his distinctive walk right after scoring a goal. It's a walk so recognizable it's practically become part of his personal brand, known by millions of football fans worldwide, even people who don't follow K-pop at all. And here's where the genius of the moment really comes through. Jimin pulled this off inside Allianz Arena itself, the very stadium closely tied to the club associated with Haaland in German football. The context lined up perfectly, the timing lined up perfectly, and most importantly, none of it was planned as an official part of the show. The crowd inside the stadium erupted instantly. Cheers and applause exploded the moment people realized they'd just watched something far more clever than a random gesture from an idol. A genuinely smart joke bridging the world of K-pop and the world of football in one simple move. What made it even funnier was that Jimin repeated the walk again after seeing the crowd's massive reaction. He clearly knew it landed, and instead of feeling shy or awkward about it, he doubled down and did it again, sending the crowd into another wave of cheers. The moment was captured by countless fans from different angles, and within hours, the clips had already spread across social media platforms worldwide. What pushed it further into viral territory was when someone stitched together a compilation combining the soundcheck moment, Jimin seeing the fans sign, with the concert clip of him actually doing the Haaland walk. This before and after compilation got flooded with reactions from netizens, who called it the perfect example of how it started versus how it's going. Now, you might think that was the funniest moment of the entire Munich run, but the story doesn't stop there. The next day, July 12th, 2026, on the second and final night of BTS Munich shows, a similar moment happened again, this time with an even more literal twist. During the second night's performance, Jimin once again found himself at the center of attention, this time showing off some actual soccer skills on stage. What made the moment even more complete was that V, also known as Taeyong, appeared wearing a full FC Bayern Munich kit, the home club of the stadium, while bringing a real football onto the stage. Picture that visual for a second, guys. One BTS member in a full Bayern Munich jersey, another member showing off ball skills, all happening inside the very stadium that belongs to that club. This wasn't just a random coincidence. It felt like the natural continuation of the joke that started the night before. Netizen reactions went even wilder. Many jokingly nicknamed Jimin by blending the name of a well-known Korean striker with Haaland's own name. A playful compliment aimed at Jimin's skills and stage presence, as if he had officially crashed the world of football through his own concert. It was these back-to-back moments across 2 nights that truly sent the topic exploding online. Not just a single viral clip, but an evolving storyline, starting with a walk on night 1 and escalating into an actual football skills segment on night 2, complete with a home club jersey that tied the whole thing together as one continuous story. Now let's talk about how ARMY and netizens in general reacted to all of this. As you can probably guess, social media was flooded with laughter and admiration. Many fans called this one of the most entertaining highlights from the entire Munich run, maybe even from the whole Ararang tour so far. Some commented that Jimin always manages to make them laugh and feel happy every time he performs. Others praised how funny and endearing the gesture was, in that affectionate tone so familiar among K-pop fans. Overall, the moment created a wave of collective joy that spread far beyond the fans who were physically there that night. Interestingly, this moment also caught attention outside the usual K-pop fan bubble, because it referenced a globally famous football player, The story ended up being picked up by outlets that typically focus on general entertainment or sports news, not just K-pop specific media. That shows just how far a single spontaneous, few-second moment on stage can travel. So far, there's been no confirmation on whether Erling Haaland himself has actually seen the viral clip. His schedule following his team's recent elimination hasn't been made public, so it's still unknown whether he's caught wind of how his name got borrowed by a member of one of the biggest boy bands in the world. But knowing how the internet works, it's probably only a matter of time before the clip finds its way to him or his team. Beyond this hilarious moment, there was something else that touched a lot of ARMY hearts: Jimin's closing message at the end of the second night's concert. After 2 days full of energy and joy shared with fans in Munich, Jimin delivered a heartfelt farewell message to everyone in the crowd. He expressed deep gratitude to the ARMY who traveled long distances just to see them perform live. Jimin also shared how happy he felt seeing everyone's enthusiasm across both nights, and promised to keep preparing even better songs and performances for their next reunion. He closed his message with hopes that ARMY would stay healthy, happy, and full of joy until they meet again. That wasn't the only place BTS shared their thoughts. The group also posted individual messages through Weverse magazine as part of their Ararang tour report. In his message, Jimin expressed his wish that ARMY would remember the Munich concert as a day filled with so much happiness that all the time spent waiting and traveling to see them would feel completely worth it. This combination of a hilarious Haaland-inspired bit and a genuinely warm closing message is what made these 2 nights in Munich feel so complete. There was laughter, there was warmth, there was togetherness, all the things that have always defined a BTS performance. Before we wrap up this video, let's take a moment to think about why a moment this small ended up having such a massive impact. The answer is actually pretty simple. This moment worked because it felt genuine and completely unforced. It wasn't part of some carefully choreographed segment planned months in advance. It was a spontaneous joke born from a real interaction between an idol and his fans. That authenticity is exactly what made it so relatable and so entertaining. It also revealed another side of Jimin and BTS as a whole, their ability to stay grounded and enjoy small, funny moments even while they're at the peak of their careers, running the biggest tour in K-pop history. Being able to read the room, respond to a fan's joke in such a creative and entertaining way, is part of why BTS continues to be loved by millions around the world, even more than a decade into their career. Moments like this are ultimately what make a massive concert feel personal and intimate, even when tens of thousands of people are watching at once. And that's the real power of a live performance, something that can never be fully planned, yet often becomes the memory that sticks with the audience the longest. And there you have it, guys, the full story behind the Jimin broke the stadium moment that went viral from BTS Munich concert. From a hilarious fan sign during soundcheck, to an iconic Haaland walk performed in front of tens of thousands of people, all the way to a football skills moment complete with a Bayern Munich kit on the second night. This moment proves that small, spontaneous things often end up being the most memorable, capable of bringing together 2 worlds that once felt completely separate, K-pop and football, through one shared laugh. For those of you watching, what do you think about Jimin's Haaland moment? Pretty hilarious, right? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you have your own footage or stories from the Ararang World Tour in your city, share them too. You might just see it featured in a future video. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future updates on BTS and the wider K-pop world, and share this with your fellow ARMY friends. Thanks so much for watching all the way through, and see you in the next video.